If you don't have something good to say about money, don't say it at all. No one wants to hear it. Literally, you speaking bad things about money creates more problems for the world, okay? Think of it like that. This is Mindset by Natalia, and welcome to my channel. Are you secretly sabotaging your financial abundance? Sometimes we look around, we try to blame other people, we try to blame governments, we try to blame anything outside of ourselves, but sometimes we need to take a hard look in the mirror as to what are the things we're doing that actually are sabotaging us and keeping us from the money that we so much desire. This is the thing. Everything comes down to money is a mental game. Money is a mental game. Everyone that's ever written a book around money, I shouldn't say everyone, but the people that have the most successful selling books around money, think about like The Psychology of Money, Think and Grow Rich, all of these really big books, like national bestsellers. These books knew something, that money is a mental game. Stop thinking that you can't control the circumstances outside of you, that you can't change your reality. Everything around that is your false narrative, and it's what's keeping you small. I'm telling you here, you have the choice to make yourself the most abundant person, because as God put you on this earth, as the universe fulfills everything you've ever wanted, everything that you want is already possible. It's already here. You're not going to be the first millionaire. You're not going to be the first billionaire. You're probably not even going to be the first trillionaire. All of those people already exist. It's just up to you to start viewing yourself as that money magnet. Your subconscious, as we know, is 90 to 95% of your coding. Think of it if you're literally coding on a computer. When you plug in code, how do you know that that's what you need to plug in? Trial and error and what you've seen through your experience. So in the subconscious mind, it is just rewriting itself over and over again based off of the beliefs you've had, based off of the experiences that you've had, based off of what other people told you was possible about money, based off of what other people did with their lives, based off of the regrets that you've seen in your grandparents or maybe in your parents. All of these things build up the script that we now have. So then we ask ourselves, I'm asking for God, I'm praying, I'm doing all these things, but this money is not showing up in my life. That's because you consciously knowing that you want this money, that you desire this money, is the 5%. It's your conscious brain. Your conscious brain, awake and aware, knows I would like to have money. I would like to treat my family to this. I would love to have this luxury car. I would love to be able to spring for these types of vacations. Your conscious knows that. Of course, people want to be wealthy. It's like, of course you do. That's a very understandable thing, I would say. But this is where you get carried away. You're asking, why isn't the 5% taking over the 95%? Just think about that math. How much force this 5% needs to have in order to reshape and remodel 95%. It's like, again, going back to our example of building a computer, it's like trying to start from scratch with 5% of the materials. You're like, okay, yeah, so where's like the 95% of materials? And you're like, nope, that's all you get, just the 5%. Go ahead and build me a computer. You'd be like, what? Well, that's gonna be, first of all, you might feel it's impossible. You might think that's so difficult. But I'm here to tell you this is why it's important to rewire ourselves, to rewire the thoughts and beliefs that have brought us here, because as we know, the code is more powerful than just our conscious brain. So that's what we need to focus on: healing, rewiring, and reshaping the way that we view money in this case. But this can apply to anything. How you see romantic relationships. If you're the kind of person that says, oh, like I can't find a good woman, I can't find any good men anymore, if you keep repeating the same thoughts, beliefs, and patterns, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. Your beliefs about money become your reality. When you truly believe something, anything, okay? Anything. It can be from God, from feeling like the person you're with is the right one, from absolutely knowing that you cannot stand olives. Whatever it is that you believe, you will be brought proof of how that's true. I've said this in another video. Sometimes people wonder, how can we have so many conflicting governments and cultures and languages? Like, how does everyone on their own side think that they're right? But this is the thing. If you think that you are right, you will find proof of it. So you will understand, and it's like almost like your ego in your mind is so bluntly determined to be right that it's only ever going to see how you're right. Think of it like that. Your beliefs about money are what's gotten you here so far. But this is also the good thing. If you don't like where you're at right now with money, you can change that now, and that will change how you see the next trajectory of your life. So if you believe that money is really difficult to get, you have to break your back in order to receive the bare minimum, that's what you're gonna get. If you think that anyone that's wealthy has to be a very vicious, ungrateful, awful person, that's what you're gonna see. That's all you're ever gonna see. And of course, you're not gonna wanna be that yourself. If all you've ever seen is how people borrowed from others and then never gave back the money, or stole from people, or any kind of dishonesty that you've seen around money, or giving it this bad portrayal, as a reminder, money is not good or bad. It's literally a thing. We decide what it means, right? We decide, we give it its value. We work, no, not we work for it. It works for us, we do not work for it. So let's bring up actual examples about how you may be sabotaging yourself from receiving more money. The first and most classic of all, you believe that you are a bad person if you have money. Again, drop the act of feeling like, no, I feel like I really do deserve money. 5% versus 95%. Like, this guy's clearly winning for some reason. So rather than saying that it's not true and, yeah, I totally believe this side, just look at what you're running from. Look at what your code says. Look at what you grew up believing, and that will show you why you've gotten here up until now. So the first one is the classic, I am not going to be a good person if I have money. Maybe it was someone in your family that had a lot of money, but was always seen in a very bad light. Maybe that person always seemed very selfish. You heard your parents talking about how this person is selfish. Maybe you saw someone in a career path that you loved. You were totally aspiring to be that. But then you saw maybe this celebrity, for example, ends up getting all of this hate from their followers, from people that love their music. But now all of a sudden, everyone is turning their back and being like, you are such an evil person because you have money, because you don't donate it, because you're not spending it well, whatever it might be. And again, it's another thought that's coming in, not based off of any kind of reality, but based off of your limiting beliefs. You don't think that you can be a good person and have money. So the other day I did a little experiment. I was doing some journaling and writing down, what are my big blocks around money? What does having money mean about me? And one of the things I wrote, which I could not believe, and I feel like if you come from any kind of culture that's very tight-knit, it's like community first, family first, everything else, like put yourself last, like that is the deemed upon holy grace, like, oh, you're such an amazing person if you put yourself last. Any kind of culture like that, I would say, maybe has some of this. And this is what I wrote down. I am afraid that I will disrespect my elders if I make more money than them. I could not believe that I wrote that. Again, these are the tiny things that, do you think I'm consciously thinking about, you know what, you're right, I did lose those $100 because, you know what, I don't want to be like mean to my grandparents or my parents, and I don't want to like have more money than them. Do you think I'm sitting around thinking that? No, I'm not. But again, like I just got like a little like zip into what my subconscious mind is running. The script, the code that it's running back and forth. So in this case, I'm thinking, okay, if I make more money than I've seen my parents make, which throughout my life hasn't been a lot, like in my mind, how I've always viewed it, my parents have always had to struggle a lot with money. Like growing up was not an easy thing when it came to finances, like not at all, you know? So now that I think, okay, how much money would I have to make if I were to make more money than my parents? Oh, actually, it's not that much money. It's nowhere near the millionaires or even like whatever else. I'm like, wait a minute, that means that in very short time, I could be making more money than my parents. And then you think about, what are the other fears that come along with that? Is it, I'm now fearful that I have all the responsibility of my family. I'm fearful that people in my family will take advantage of me and having all of this money and making jokes about how I'm not giving them enough gifts, or I'm not treating them to nice things, or I'm putting everyone else above, or I'm putting myself above and I'm buying myself a Chanel bag or a sports car, whatever it is. Like, am I going to be seen and deemed bad by my family because I am doing more financially well than they are? And this was, I don't know, it just opened my mind to the reasons why, like, sometimes you have to understand the subconscious. Like, this is a belief I've had because it's been a cultural thing that I've grown up with, this societal expectation of I need to respect my elders. And somewhere along the way, that meant for me, I need to keep myself small in terms of finances, maybe even in other terms. And I need to allow my parents to feel good and big about the money that they make. So I always have to keep something below what they make. How the media portrays money. Have you ever seen someone get canceled? Have you ever seen someone lose their entire business? Have you ever seen someone's affair go live and they lose their job? Have you ever seen someone on social media that had to give up their job because people were like, absolutely not, cannot stand you? Have we seen millionaires or billionaires or whoever be talked badly about because of how much money they spent on their wedding? Like, all of these things happen and we see them in the media, and without you realizing it, every single time that you subscribe to those thoughts, you are limiting yourself and the potential of how much money you can make. Because what ends up happening is you are putting the public eye, what people might say, ahead of your own desires, okay? So at the end of the day, we as human beings are wired to be in community. You want to be accepted by other people. And in the media, when we see people being canceled, being shamed, being, whatever for their actions or things that they're not even doing, when we see that, we get scared because it's like subconscious programming that I'm going to be kicked out of the tribe. And if I'm kicked out of the tribe, again, from like an evolutionary point of view, if I'm kicked out of the tribe, that means that I'm not surviving. It's literally like social exclusion means my death. But our brains haven't caught up to the fact that we don't have to worry about that anymore. We can survive on our own, but our brains just don't know that. So in the media portrayal, the more that you're wishing bad or even seeing other people wish bad on people that have money, that is going to be a fear that you're going to then take on. You're going to say, I would rather really not be canceled or not lose my money or not be in the public eye. So you're going to shut yourself off. You're going to shut yourself off. And you are going to start making less money subconsciously. You're not going to receive as much money because, kind of what we said in the beginning, you're afraid of being a bad person. You're afraid of how people will perceive you if you have money. People like your family, people like your friends, people like the general world, like the internet. Everyone can see what you're doing nowadays. And you're terrified of the fact that you could be abandoned if you actually receive some of this money. All right, so let's start on some of the good news. It's time to rewire ourselves. It's time to come up with new beliefs. So here's the thing. It's great for you to be like, all right, I'm open to receiving more money. Of course, we need to go in and look at, okay, what are your blocks? Maybe some of the ones I said resonated with you. Maybe some of them you're like, no, not at all. So then make your own list, okay? What are the things that you just subconsciously think you're just so scared if you make a certain amount of money or more than someone else? Like, what does that mean about you? Another one I hear a lot of people is, I'm scared that I'm going to make more money than my spouse or more money than my friends. Like, then it's always this feeling of, where do I belong then? Wait, I feel like I don't want to be bragging in front of people. All of these questions. You're going to write down your new beliefs, okay? And when you do this, you are also going to look for, what is the evidence that shows me that this new belief system could be true? So if you have a fear of, oh, like, I'm scared that money will turn me bad or I won't donate it. Okay, so then let's say the more money that I have, the more that I get to donate money and actually make like a change and a difference in the world. That's gonna be amazing, right? And then you're gonna look up evidence of people in your family, people in the media, anyone that you've seen that happen, people that inspire you, people that have millions of dollars and have given a lot of it away to charities, or maybe a specific charity that you're interested in. So find the evidence for the new belief that you want to have. That way your subconscious mind just at least knows, like, this is possible. this is absolutely possible. That person is doing it, this person's doing it, I can do it just as easily. Of course, affirmations. So you can take your new list of new beliefs and make affirmations out of it. Listen to it in the morning when you're just waking up, listening to it at night before you fall asleep, or even just finding some affirmations online about money, wealth, consciousness, all of that. And just play it, okay? Just have it in the background. Your mind is just used to the fact. It starts listening over and over and over again that having money is actually a really positive thing. It can actually bring so much more abundance into multiple people's lives. You having money means everyone gets to be rich around you, which is beautiful. So you're going to take those affirmations, put them in your mind, and just repeat them. Again, depending on the kinds of friends that you have, the kind of TV that you consume, anything like that, whatever you've been listening to up until now has confirmed your belief around money. So you need to take a step back and see who's for me, who's against me. If it's, I can't be 24/7 around certain friends that are only ever demonizing money, then you need to be aware of that. Or, oh, I watch all of these documentaries and TV shows about people that get caught scamming other people and doing horrible things with money. Okay, maybe you don't watch that. Again, you are training your brain in a new way. This takes a lot of effort for your mind to do, but you can do it. You just literally need to stop placing yourself in the situation that got you here up until now. Start listening to the things you want to believe. The last part of this is speaking it into reality. Speaking the way that you now want to talk about money. Stop demonizing it. Stop saying bad things around it. Stop calling yourself broke. I cannot stand anymore seeing on social media and how everyone is talking about broke, 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 broke. That's all you're ever going to be because you are speaking it into existence, okay? Stop speaking it, okay? If you don't, you know that saying when we were kids, like if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. If you don't have something good to say about money, don't say it at all. No one wants to hear it. Literally, you speaking bad things about money creates more problems for the world, okay? Think of it like that. The more goodness that you speak, think about like if you were gossiping about someone. Do you really think you're doing more good if you're gossiping about what someone is doing wrong versus actually acknowledging what someone is doing right? That rightness, that speaking things that you actually want into reality is magic. It's how we change lives. It's how we create our new realities. It's like the juice of all magic. That is what we need to focus on, the thing that we actually desire. So say goodbye to all of this, the old identity that you held as a person that demonized money for whatever kinds of reasons that you did, and start embracing the fact that you as a human being are the most abundant soul. You and every other person is able and capable of having as much money and goods and anything that you desire in your life. It all breaks down to, do you believe that you're worthy of it? And do you actually believe that having money can accentuate your power, can actually make you a better person? And just start speaking these things into existence, and they will naturally and so easily flow into your life. With all that being said, thank you for watching today's video, and I am excited to see you in the next one. Bye!